If you passed on a Kawasaki in the last 5 years thinking they were just budget bikes, you missed one of the biggest shifts in the motorcycle industry. And you're not the only one. Right now, Kawasaki sales are exploding while Harley, Indian, and even Honda are struggling to keep dealers happy. Mechanics who've been wrenching for decades are calling this the smartest pivot they've ever seen from a Japanese manufacturer. This happened because Kawasaki stopped chasing everyone else's playbook and doubled down on what riders actually want. We're talking about a 47% increase in North American sales, while their competitors are laying off workers and closing plants. So if you're still thinking Kawasaki makes cheap starter bikes, you're about to discover why seasoned riders are switching brands for the first time in their lives. Here's the secret strategy that's turning the motorcycle world upside down. Hit subscribe now and drop your thoughts on which motorcycle brand you trust most. But before we start, let's uncover how Kawasaki outsmarted everyone. Number 5. The perception problem. For decades, Kawasaki has been fighting an uphill battle against its own image. The budget bike stigma began in the 1970s and 80s when they aggressively priced their motorcycles to gain market share. This strategy worked to get bikes on the road, but it created a lasting perception that Kawasaki was somehow inferior to brands like Honda, who successfully positioned themselves as the premium Japanese option. American riders especially fell into the trap of associating price with quality. If it costs more, it must be better, right? This mindset became deeply entrenched in motorcycle culture, particularly among cruiser enthusiasts who gravitated toward Harley-Davidson's premium pricing as a badge of honor. Kawasaki's dealer network challenges only compounded the problem. With a smaller dealership footprint compared to giants like Harley and Honda, and limited marketing budgets that couldn't match the flashy campaigns of their competitors, Kawasaki struggled with brand visibility and prestige. Riders simply didn't see Kawasaki dealerships as often, and when they did, the marketing didn't convey the quality that was actually built into these machines. What's fascinating is that the motorcycle community has always been split between enthusiasts and mainstream riders. Track riders and mechanics have long known about Kawasaki's exceptional quality and performance. These were the people actually working on bikes day in and day out, seeing firsthand how they performed under pressure. But casual riders stuck with safe brand choices following marketing rather than mechanical reality. Word of mouth couldn't overcome the marketing disadvantage Kawasaki faced. The breaking point came when Kawasaki's leadership realized perception had to change if they wanted to grow. Internal company meetings about brand repositioning led to a pivotal decision: let performance speak louder than marketing. Instead of just telling people they were great, they would build machines that proved it. Number 4. The reliability revolution. Kawasaki's engineering philosophy quietly outperformed everyone else through a strategy of overbuilding their engines. While competitors designed to exact specifications, Kawasaki consistently exceeded them. Their engines weren't just meeting power ratings, they were crushing them, with internal tolerances that gave these machines remarkable longevity. Mechanics who tear down engines from different manufacturers consistently report that Kawasaki power plants have larger bearings, stronger connecting rods, and more robust cases than equivalently sized engines from competitors. This isn't marketing, it's metallurgy and mathematics. While other manufacturers chase technological complexity, Kawasaki embraced simplicity. As Honda, Yamaha, and European brands packed their bikes with electronics, sensors, and modules, all potential failure points, Kawasaki took a more measured approach. Their bikes incorporated necessary tech without going overboard, resulting in motorcycles that start reliably in all conditions, while competitors' owners troubleshoot error codes. Kawasaki's quality control standards reflect traditional Japanese manufacturing precision applied to every component. Their factory testing procedures exceed industry standards, with each engine run before installation and comprehensive electronics testing that catches issues before bikes ship to dealers. This translates directly to lower warranty claims and higher customer satisfaction. The proof is in the ownership experience. There are documented cases of Kawasaki motorcycles with 200,000 plus miles still running strong, particularly their legendary sport touring models and the bulletproof KLR 650. Maintenance cost comparisons consistently show Kawasaki owners spending less over time than owners of comparable European or even other Japanese brands. It's why mechanics, when asked privately what bike they'd recommend for long-term ownership, often point to Kawasaki. Number 3. The competition's mistakes. Established brands handed Kawasaki the perfect opportunity through a series of critical errors. Harley-Davidson's pricing disaster tops the list, with touring bikes regularly exceeding $40,000, pricing out their core customers. This coincided with quality issues on new models and recalls that damaged consumer confidence. Meanwhile, younger riders began rejecting the brand entirely, seeing Harley as their father's or grandfather's motorcycle. Honda, long the standard bearer for reliability, fell victim to complacency. They began resting on their reputation while cutting engineering corners. Their CVT transmission failures on models like the NC750 and Africa Twin and general reliability decline created an opening. They lost focus on what made them great, bulletproof simplicity, and started chasing features instead of durability. European manufacturers like BMW and Ducati went all in on over-engineering, making bikes too complex for average owners to maintain. When simple maintenance requires specialized diagnostic equipment and dealer visits, ownership costs skyrocket. Expensive repairs began driving owners away, and internet forums filled with horror stories about four-figure repair bills for relatively minor issues. These missteps created a market gap that Kawasaki was perfectly positioned to fill. As premium pricing pushed the market ceiling higher, at the middle market opened wide. Value-conscious buyers, which in a post-pandemic economy includes most riders, found Kawasaki offering quality at reasonable prices. This became their sweet spot, and sales figures proved they hit the bullseye. Number 2. The dealer network transformation. Kawasaki's strategic dealer expansion changed everything through a partnership approach that supported dealers instead of competing with them. While Honda and Harley squeezed dealer margins and implemented strict requirements, Kawasaki offered better profit margins and flexible programs that dealers appreciated. Their training programs created Kawasaki specialists who could properly sell and service their machines. They focused intensely on service excellence. Parts availability became noticeably faster than competitors, often by weeks. Their technical support actually helped dealers solve problems rather than creating bureaucratic hurdles. Customers began preferring the Kawasaki service experience, which created loyalty beyond the initial purchase. Kawasaki's strategic location expansion targeted markets previously dominated by Harley and Honda. They specifically moved into areas with younger, performance-oriented riders and identified underserved demographics. College towns, tech hubs, and growing suburban areas received new dealerships while competitors closed locations. Their loyalty program success has transformed customers into brand ambassadors. Owner events and community building created a sense of belonging that had previously been Harley's exclusive domain. Their social media strategy actually worked because it focused on riders and their experiences rather than corporate messaging. They let owners tell their stories, which proved far more persuasive than traditional advertising. Number 1. The secret strategy revealed. The strategy nobody saw coming from a brand everyone underestimated was built on a long-term vision. While competitors focused on quarterly profits, Kawasaki planned this takeover for over a decade. They invested heavily in R&D, while competitors cut costs during economic downturns. This commitment to substance over flash positioned them perfectly for when the market eventually turned. Their performance-first philosophy meant building bikes that perform instead of just bikes that sell. Track success with their Ninja and Z models translated directly to street credibility. Professional racers and serious riders became their best marketing because their endorsements carried authenticity that advertising dollars couldn't buy. Kawasaki mastered the value proposition by delivering premium performance at reasonable prices. They redefined what value means in motorcycles, not the cheapest option, but the best return on investment. Their bikes became known for offering 90% of the performance of premium brands at 70% of the cost. This resonated with both new riders who appreciated the accessibility and experienced riders who recognized the engineering quality. Their market timing proved perfect, launching models like the redesigned Ninja 400, Z900, and Versys lineup at exactly the right moment captured shifting consumer preferences. Economic conditions favored their approach as riders became more cost-conscious without wanting to sacrifice quality. This strategy is sustainable long-term because it's built on fundamentals rather than trends. Looking ahead, Kawasaki's future domination plan includes electric bike development that's actually practical rather than just conceptual. They're expanding into markets competitors are abandoning, particularly the mid-displacement segments that still represent the majority of global sales. Their positioning for the next decade focuses on maintaining their engineering advantage while gradually shifting perception from good value to simply the best choice. The motorcycle landscape is changing before our eyes, with tradition giving way to performance, value, and reliability. What does this mean for your next bike purchase? Will you stick with familiar brands or follow the shift toward Kawasaki's rising star? Comment whether you agree with our analysis or think we missed something. Who do you think is next to fall? Subscribe now. The motorcycle industry's transformation is just beginning, and you won't want to miss what happens next.